Marcellus Lovelace in the place to be, live on your computer TV. Art. I make art. To me, think about life like this. You could work a job in the United States of America. The whole time you're working there, it's like a mysterious simulation ran by bots. Is AI for black people? I mean, think about the logic of the job. You're there to get paid. So for me, it's just a means to an end. But for some humans, that job is their creative outlet. So since I already have a creative outlet, the job is just like 5% of my existence, 2% of my existence in the sense of life. It doesn't really matter. As a way to relieve the tension of colonial oppression. And I'm going to add this point, from inside of working inside of different jobs, you find a lot of bots. We could call humans bots, or drones, or characters in the game that don't really serve a purpose. Look that up and see what that means. But those characters in the game that don't serve a purpose are programmed by other drones or AI specialists to program their simulation. And inside of that simulation, they just make up folklore, lies, and mystique, nonsense, ignorance. If a human being's only existence is based off following orders and commands and programming, then what are you? They literally ignore life and they exist inside of life as if thought doesn't matter. Ignorance becomes normal inside of this technology or these jobs, because I would say most people, they literally ignore life, disrespectful to some weird extent. Interaction with technology being full engagement. I honestly don't see interacting with technology as full engagement when we as humans have to interact with it. Let's say we're going over a video conference or something, using any various versions of these technologies that humans use to communicate with, and the social media apps. It's not intimate, it's not sincere, it's not real. It's more or less a way for, I would say, an oppressive system to collect data on the human species. So the more the human species feeds the data into it, then we lose our intimacy as people. We're not as friendly, we're not as engaging, and information isn't that important anymore. So I would say, even if I use that analogy to go back to the point of working at a certain job, you could work a job and you have individuals there that don't necessarily know anything. So they're just there to collect the check. So common sense and intelligence and knowing things don't really play a significant part in their everyday life. So what plays an important part in life, I would say, from COVID to now, is pretty much how technology works. So most humans have a better relationship with their devices and their technology than they do with other human beings. So it's spread across the board. And I do not think this technology, the artificial version of whatever technology is a forward-thinking reality for the African black people in this universe, in this society. Because if that's all we have to focus on, or the only way that we can function, then how are we actually functioning? Our whole mechanism, or our whole ecology, our whole logic is based on whatever program or whatever programming can exist for us to function on. So it actually delays us more and more, and we're not actually engaging properly. The level of ignorance it takes for like a black person to be negative towards their own group of people, it makes you more of a worthless being in society. To me, I don't think any black person, and people in general, but mainly I'm talking about black people, should put effort into being negative towards their own group of people. Because in essence, the black person is all the other black people have. So why be negative towards them when you could uplift them, help them, and create a forward-thinking reality for black people to function in? Art technique that I use, I came up with this concept recently because I run every day, and I pretty much am, being athletic and healthy every day. I move every day. I run and walk and exercise, push-ups, sit-ups, pull-ups, all this stuff every day. And what I see myself as in studying art or presenting art, art is like a basketball coach. I know it's an awkward analogy, but I'm constantly creating new defenses, new offenses, new strategies, new thoughts, new concepts, new development, new painting techniques. Like everything is always in motion. So if you ever saw like some Don Nelson stuff, old school Golden State Warriors, to me, that's pretty much how I look at painting. I'm always drawing a new scheme or a new motion offensive running gun style of creativity that's never ending. If you're just gonna be honest, when I think deeply about, I think very deeply. As I think very deeply about creating art, that's how I look at it. I look at it in this way where it's constantly evolving itself to be better on the defensive end. So then I'll use the Phil Jackson technique defense with the triangle offenses. And then the same thing, let's say with a motion offense, it's a lot of triangles with that. San Antonio, etc. The Bulls, Golden State Warriors. So I'm running these offenses where it's a lot of movement, a lot of screens, a lot of pick and rolls. You know, I do whatever the Karl Malone, Stockton, every type of offense that exists. Whatever run and gun, scoring at will type of play, that's how I create art. So I could take glue, whiteout, paint sticks, the pastels, chalk, markers, paintbrushes, every single thing, I'm putting it all in the game. So if I have 12 players, or if I have 2 pieces of material to create with, I'm gonna still create. Because I'm playing to get the job done. Herm Edwards, you played the game to win, you know. So my job is constantly like a coach. And I'm coaching myself to be like a better implementer of tools that I'm playing with at all times. It's never ending. And the more I create like that, the more work I get done. On the average month, if it's 30 days in a month, I have 30 paintings. I know for this month, it's 30 days, and we're nowhere near the 30th day, but I'm done with the 30 paintings. Because that's my strategy. We got to win the Final Four. Or we got to get ready for the NBA playoffs. So my concept is to strategize at all times. Get ready for the WNBA draft. You know what I mean? Change your teams around. Drafting new things. And I think that if humans can think about this like this, especially artists, the concept of drafting new ideas, like coming up with new ideas. I can write out a whole bunch of plays for a whole year, and I'll probably only use 5 of them. But if I run out of plays, I got enough for the year. The same way if I'm teaching, I could make hundreds and hundreds of lesson plans. In school settings, things are fluid, and it's ever changing. Because it's back to that AI programming where you got all these characters programmed by this bot society creating nonsensical things every day. So inside of that nonsensical fantasy world, fake reality, you know, they're being fed information to students. The system is constantly feeding itself information, and me as a teacher, I have to come up with strategies to overcome it all the time because I have to be a little step ahead to make it function properly. So yeah, man, creativity and art, support, help. It's like putting the mask on the airplane. Like they say, put the mask on, you gotta protect yourself first. That's the concept. That's the mentality I'm at right now as far as creating art. I have to make sure I'm straight. I remember for years, even going through college and stuff, I was always considering everything, everybody, life, people, family, everything, not just the art. Even though I always did it consistently all the time. I would say I've created art almost every day of my life for the most part. But at this point, that mask got to go on first. So the more I'm secure and everything is straight with me and my creativity, my family and my people are beautiful. They're lovely because I'm going to be straight. And the more I feed that into me, the more I feed it into my group and my family and my tribe, my posse, clan, and clique. But whatever it is, that's what I do. I make sure I stay ready, sharp, straight with it, articulate, intelligent, constantly creating new ideas, defenses and offenses. Play on both ends of the court. The whole time, Nolan Richardson, 40 minutes of hell, and I create art like it's a never-ending story. Just like that movie, The Never Ending, you know. But yeah, it's ongoing, consistent, and always up to date on any surface, destroying all lines. Peace out. Marcellus Lovelace, engaging, focused, blacker than the blackness. Oh, he's definitely not in the building.
People's excellence, land of no shoes, souls who are cold, looking for truth.